Hello, everybody. My name is Darren.
And I'm Troy.
And you are listening to another episode of The Brothers Greif, the podcast for people who mash the A button through critically important exposition only to have no idea what the living fuck is going on.
That's a good one. I like that. It hits really close to home for me. I, as a young kid, didn't pay any attention to any kind of story in video games, so all the lines in video games that I got were just like, good luck.
Exactly. You might remember Kapora Gabora. I think he was the owl in The Legend of Zelda. Yeah, dude. He would, like, paragraphs of very important exposition, just, so you know exactly what's going on in the game. And then right at the tail end, those motherfuckers, those writers, put in do you want to listen to all of this again? And it was defaulted to yes. So if you're an A button masher like myself, it was something like, you want to listen to that again? Yes. Okay. You want to listen to that again? Yes. Okay.
That's probably the least read text in video game history.
Yeah.
He just shows up and goes, we good?
Like, how many 8-year-olds do you know that are going to sit there and listen to, like, 15 minutes of dialogue?
Yeah,
that was a song, wasn't it? Oh my God.
And it would just play over and over.
And his stupid head would rotate and wiggle around, and his nasty eyebrows with bugs in it, and he smelled bad, and I hate him.
He looks bad, and he should feel bad.
Absolutely. Fuck you, Kapora Gabora.
Right.
My God.
So, Darren, what have you been playing recently?
I've been chewing into the meat and potatoes of the game that is Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, dude.
Go on.
This game has the best swordplay I've ever experienced in any game.
Ooh.
Yeah, like think Assassin's Creed.
Think The Hobbit on the GameCube.
Shut the fuck up. Even like The Witcher or Shadow of War.
Ooh.
All of those games, like quintessential like swordplay games.
Sure.
And then Ghost of Tsushima just swoops in and takes the gold, in my opinion.
No
It's
kidding.
so good. Really deep and dark storyline, which I'm not going to spoil because I know you haven't experienced it yet. But
I haven't even seen gameplay videos. I've been staying clear.
Yeah, it's highly recommended, and listeners, if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima yet, do yourself a big favor and sink your teeth into it, because you'll get lost in it.
It's definitely one of those games where I hear plenty about it, and I know I really want to play it, but until then, I'm just going to bury my head in the sand and not, like, watch any videos, or, like, if anybody starts talking about it, which is all the time, I'm just going to plug my ears and go, la, 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 until, because I don't want.
That's a good call, because I went into it completely blind, too. I didn't know much about it at all, other than the hype that it was getting, and I'm glad I did, because it's going into probably my top 10 games of all time, maybe even top 5.
Damn.
Yeah, yep.
That is in a Troy's must-play of recent times.
What have you been playing?
So, in tandem with my current Skyrim campaign, I'm playing Need for Speed Payback, not because I paid for it, but because PlayStation Plus gave it to me for free.
Cheapskate.
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't played Need for Speed really since, like, Most Wanted and Underground, and I loved those games. Like, Underground introduced me to Little John, the first time I heard, I was like,
shit, yeah.
Baby. And
okay.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't play any Need for Speeds since then, which is like over a decade ago. And then the last one before Payback came out. And I think it's just self-titled, just Need for Speed. But it has like live acting in the cutscenes. It's just like real people acting out these super cringy cutscenes. And they're all like wearing snapbacks, and it's like, bro, it's going down tonight. Get your fastest whip. We're gonna be tearing these streets up. Crack open a monster. Smash the can over my head. Like, it's yikes status. So Payback, got it for free, and The gameplay is fun. I like it. It scratched the itch that I want out of a racing game, I suppose. But it has, I think, some of the worst voice acting I've heard in recent memory.
Worse than the last iteration? Because that was pretty fucking bad.
Worse. It's worse. No. It's like monotone. Like, oh, man. I'm trying to think of an example. Like if he goes, all right, everything's at stake. Everything's on the line. I got to win this race. Is delivered. All right. I'm going to go real fast, drive my car. Won't give up, won't let you down, Dad. It's really bad. And it's either monotone like that or like cringy. I don't know what else to call it besides cheesy, you know?
The real question is, how many Monster energy drinks does it take for that acting performance to become good?
Well, I haven't seen a single one of them drink a Monster yet, so maybe they found a new sponsor, but they are subtle about it this time. But if you don't mind, that's a perfect segue into my first item. If you want to jump in, I wanted to talk about voice acting in video games. The impact, for better or for worse, voice acting has in video games. I would say Need for Speed Payback is a perfect example of... I honestly think that they didn't have a voice acting budget. They just found some folk on the street.
Hey,
you bored?
You want a job?
Yeah. How much does it pay? I'll buy you...
Get back to you on that.
I'll buy you a monster. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like, when you think about voice acting in video games, it's kind of like, or when we first started playing video games, it's come such a long way. I mean, I'm thinking back to, like, N64, when voice acting was possible, but you really didn't hear much of it. It was usually in, like, short lines. Like, at the beginning of Mario 64, well, in Mario 64 in general, you hear Mario's like, woohoo, and yeah. Wow. It was like stuff that. But I think there's only one spoken bit in that entire game, and that's the letter that Peach reads at the beginning, where she's like, come to my castle, ooh, from yours truly, Princess Toadstool, Peach.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's it. Unless I'm tripping. More. I don't think there's another spoken word.
There's one more, I promise. It's, thank you so much for playing my game.
Oh, that's right.
Yep,
that's
at
right.
The very end.
Oh wow. Okay, so those are the two.
Yep.
And so long, Gay Bowser. So in like that era of video games, there wasn't so much voice acting that's fleshed out at all. Like I said, it's all like just sound effects or really short lines. I'm looking at like the Super Smash Brothers series, which has some of my favorite lines. In like OG, they have like board the platforms and break the targets.
Yeah. Yep.
That kind of intensity that scared me as a kid. Board the platforms and be like, shit, okay. But Melee, I think, has if you remember the opening in Melee.
Oh God, I do.
When it's like that opening cinematic and it's super epic, and then at the end of it, you hear the guy go, Super Smash Brothers Melee! And every time I hear it, I can't help but chuckle because, like, I can just see that dude in the recording studio, and he just goes so fucking ham.
He just, like, did a line of coke. He, like, fucking smashes a can of Monster on his forehead, and he's like...
and then he goes, woo! And then, like, punches a hole through the wall.
Dude, his recording studio was a fucking wreck when he got done with it.
Because he goes ham in everything. Ready? Go!
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
He walks into the studio, he's like, what the fuck is this? Super Smash Brothers? Never heard of it. What is this? All right, Super Smash! Like, he rips his shirt off. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, from the booth, they're like, beep, beep. Hey, what happened to your script? Oh, I set that on fire about 5 minutes ago, man. It's getting cold in here.
They originally were just like, all right, so it's going to be like Super Smash Brothers Melee. And he was like, no. That ain't going on.
No, we're not doing that. Nope. All right, it's Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Choose your character.
Oh, man.
That reminds me of when you're selecting your character in Melee, he says each individual name. Young Link, Ganondorf, stuff like that. But if you keep pressing B, it retracts your little character selection token.
Yeah.
And then it puts it back real quick, so you can just spam this dude's voice on whatever name you want. Dr. Mario's like, Doctor.
Fox.
Ganondorf. I wonder if we ever like annoyed the piss out of mom and dad playing that game.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. This is the height of voice acting in the N64 era, unless you count Professor Oak in Pokemon Snap.
Oh,
you were close.
Yeah, right.
Impeccable.
Yeah, that's what he says. Holy shit!
This is the best fucking photo I've ever seen.
God.
Oh my god.
Dude, whoever voiced Professor Oak got more dollars per word than I think any other voice actor's ever gotten. Wow.
Yeah. Oh.
That's like $5,000 right there.
Well, that reminds me of like Zelda games, because I mean, up until Breath of the Wild, there hasn't really been any voice acting, so you get characters that are all and
yeah, shit.
Shit.
You and I thought that was shit for a while when we first heard that, because there's definitely an SH and then there's definitely an IT at the end of it. So what else are you supposed to think?
Shit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I just like, man, all of the like vocalizations in Zelda games just crack me up, especially in Wind Waker. Like the first things you hear are like that dude on the balcony, and he just goes, "Ooh!"
Oh man, I want that job.
Yeah, for real, because I can do that.
Yeah,
I do that naturally. I don't need to be getting paid for it.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
When I was thinking about like what's the first fully voiced game I've ever played that isn't just with like, you know, the short lines at the beginning of Mario 64 or the from Zelda.
Yeah.
I think it's Putt-Putt.
Oh my god, you just hit me right in the nostalgia bone, dude.
For the audience who's unaware, which I would be surprised, but Putt-Putt was a game about a car that talks and is alive that lives in a town consisting of other sentient vehicles. And it's in the same vein as like Pajama Sam and that other one with the fish.
The other one
whatever
with the fish.
That was. I can't remember, but it was Putt-Putt. Yeah, who gives a shit? It was Putt-Putt. Putt-Putt Saves the Zoo was our first Putt-Putt game, and it's fully voice acted. They show you the pictures of all the kids doing all the animals in the zoo.
That's right.
That was another one that you could just spam the same line over and over again. I remember it was like, and the voice acting was really cheesy. You'd be like, "That's the Cartown Zoo," but if you just kept hitting that same icon, that kid would just be like,
That's my no-no square.
Where would the no-no square on a car be?
That's the glove compartment.
Ah, yes, makes sense.
Or the tailpipe. Shut up. We can't lower the bar that low on the second episode.
I'm trying to think of like, because there's games that I've heard of that came before Putt-Putt that were fully voice acted. Well, I don't know if it was fully voice acted, but that Japanese game with the shittiest English translation in the world. The all your base are belong to us.
Oh, yeah, classic.
Say? Someone set us up the bomb. That's definitely older than Putt-Putt, but I've never played it, and I honestly don't know if anyone has, so I'm not. There are
a lot of point-and-click adventures from, like, the early PC days.
Yeah.
The Day the World Broke is an obscure one that I'm remembering.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Dude, don't even bother looking this up, listeners at home, because I don't even think it has an internet presence, but just trust me, there was a game called The Day the World Broke. It was creepy as fuck, and yeah, it gave Troy and I nightmares because the characters were super, super creepy, and it was fully voice acted though, and if I remember correctly, it wasn't bad.
No, well, I mean, man, how old was I? 6?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think those point and click ones would be the first. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of honestly, like on the N64 or PlayStation, original Xbox. Well, I know PS1 and N64 were in its own era. Can't think of like a game that was fully voice acted.
Yeah, neither can I. And it's those point and click adventures. It's kind of surprising considering the budget that they had to work with those games.
Yeah, I mean, and plus the market for gaming hadn't exploded yet. Right. I mean, it was just becoming big. So I imagine they were just like, these aren't performances. We just need someone to do our and sounds, and we're good.
Exactly.
And moving on to the next era, I guess we touched it was Super Smash Bros. Melee, but in the GameCube era, and I'm so sorry to bring this curse upon our podcast again, but Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, baby! Fully voice acted. Thinking back on it now, and I've played it within the last year or so, the voice acting isn't terrible. The only problem is that whoever like edited it, spliced the voices together, constantly made them talk over each other.
I'll make you eat those words.
Yeah. They even interrupt themselves. They'll start saying the next line before they finish what they were first trying to fucking say. I'll use your chaos control. What? Come on, man. You can't do that.
Yeah, God.
You're comparing myself to me? Ha! You aren't even good enough. Don't make you eat those words. Like, what?
Nice try.
Yeah. Oh, man, I just remember thinking that all the lines in there. I remember thinking Shadow was so cool because he was so edgy and he even says, "I'm the coolest."
Yeah,
Maria. And then when Shadow the Hedgehog came out, I remember being so excited because of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was so good. And then he's saying stuff like, "Damn, not here. Where's that damn last Chaos Emerald?"
Like Shadow Quest.
Yeah.
That's a bad word.
How edgy can we get without offending little kids?
Oh, balls.
Oh,
fuck.
There it is. It's like, titty fucking shit. Where's that last Chaos Emerald?
Titty fucking. Okay.
I'm the coolest. What a weird game. But yeah, so that's the early days of voice acting was just so limited because I don't think anybody really like going into that looked at these projects as like an artistic performance. You know, they just provided a cartoony voice, and I guess in a way that's like a performance. And some games, I know someone's going to prove me wrong, but I mean, for the most part, none of the roles were like super serious. Even Mario 64 was just a bunch of yahoos and Wikis and whatever.
Super Monkey Ball. Ready? Go!
Yeah. I think it was once we get to, man, what year was that? 2006?
Mm-hmm.
It's when the 360, PS3, and the Wii came out.
Oh, yeah.
That I started playing games where the voice acting blew my mind. I'm talking games like Far Cry 3. You played that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Voss Montenegro, man. I remember being actually terrified.
Is that the guy who's like, you know what the definition of insanity is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was.
Way up in the fucking sky, you thought you had a choice. But down here, hermano, you hit the ground.
Dude, he was intimidating as fuck.
Dude, seriously. And here's the cool part. His character, Voss, did not exist until the guy, Michael Mondo, auditioned. Voss was not an idea for the game until he auditioned, and it was so good that they're like, we need to make this dude a character.
Whoa.
And so not only did they use his voice to create a character, but they took his likeness too. Like, Voss Montenegro looks exactly like Michael Mondo.
Rad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he like you can see interviews with him like doing the motion capture where he's got the suit with all the white balls on it, and he's like acting out all these scenes where he does the definition of insanity, doing the same fucking thing over and over, expecting shit to change.
I wonder how many times he had to record that line.
It was a while ago when I read this, but I might be remembering it wrong. But I think that take that they used was his audition.
What?
I think. Man, I'm going to have to fact check myself. But I think it was like one of the earlier takes or something, because they did that and they're like, that was perfect.
It just goes to show how much of a badass that guy is.
Seriously.
Good for him.
I mean, and also it goes to show how like such a good performance like that can completely overshadow some like pretty who cares ho hum voice acting.
Right. Oh yeah.
Everybody else in that game is like the main character Jason. Who cares? It's so white bread.
Yeah, he's just some white trash. Okay, guys.
I killed somebody. Oh, no. And everybody else is this, like, 20-something clink your shots and douche balloons.
Totally.
And then you have Voss, and it's just like, it's in everybody's top 10 for best voice acting in video games, and it's just because of Michael Mondo saved everybody else. Because it's pretty messed up.
That's wicked cool. Dude, there is nothing quite like a good villain. One that you love to hate, you know?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah. And I think that comes with just really great voice acting. You have people like Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2.
Oh, yeah.
He's like one of the best villains of all time. He's up there with Voss as one of the best video game villains of all time. And it's because they talk shit to you the entire game. And they're good at it.
Yeah. Handsome Jack can still to this day go fuck himself. I hate him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He was a savage. Another villain that I like that kind of, does that shit talking you throughout the entire game is Andrew Ryan from Bioshock. Andrew Ryan is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow.
No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God.
Bioshock is a masterclass of voice acting. Because not only is the person who played Andrew Ryan just stellar, but like when you think about all of the holodecks or those like video, like those audio tapes that you find scattered throughout the world are chock full of these audio performances that they only serve to just pull you further in and drag you deeper into that world, because it's like you are there. They are the characters they are playing. And man, it's awe-inspiring the amount of work that went into that game.
I mean, talk about a way to build the world around you by just hearing the voices of people that you don't even get to meet, but you hear about. They're a part of the world. And they're ingrained in it. It makes it feel a lot more tangible because the voice acting is believable. And they're talking about, they'll even foreshadow stuff. I remember like in Infinite, they're talking about stuff that you don't even know yet, so you don't even get it. They'll, like, without spoiling anything, they talk about shit that you just wouldn't understand until, like, later in the game when they reveal a bunch of stuff. And then when you play it again, you go, that's what they were talking about.
Oh, my God.
It just, like, fits in like a perfect little jigsaw.
Yeah. I wonder how much the voice actors are let into the story. I guess maybe it is all spoiled for them because they have to know like how to inflect their voice, if like maybe they're dropping a big hint that you'll discover later. You're like, oh, she said that back then, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. You would think that they would have to.
Because they have to know their character, right?
Right, but then also what if they just didn't and like let the surprise be genuine as they're reading? That might be an interesting take. I don't know. It might be something to look into. I'm tired of talking about good voice acting, though. I want to talk about just the bottom of the barrel, dumpster fire, terrible voice acting in video games now.
There's a lot to pick from.
Oh, boy, and you can't mention any of them without talking about Bethesda's shit pile of voice actor pool.
Oh, for God's sake, yeah.
Bethesda's an interesting case and I think in the case of Oblivion, it's a little bit more charming because what do? Hired like 4 different people to voice every single character in Oblivion. There's hundreds, and it sounds like 5 do it. What I think the clunkiness of Oblivion's voice acting does is add that charm and just hilarity that you don't really find too much in other video games. Because when I think back on Oblivion's voice acting, it makes me laugh. Because every single elf, every last one, has that hello voice. and every orc and Nord has the I hail from Skyrim. Ha 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 ha.
Hail. Yeah.
And some of my favorite memories as far as voice acting goes is definitely in Oblivion. Because they tried to do this whole, like, oh, the world that you're playing in is alive. And the people go about their day, and it seems very human. But the problem is, you'll go through town, and you'll get an orc and a Nord who stop each other to talk. And it's the same dude.
It's garbage.
And the conversations are just like, what? Like an orc and a Nord will stop each other, and they'll be like, hey, well met. Did you hear? They closed the gate of Oblivion. It can be done. Stop talking. Goodbye. See you later. And that's an entire conversation. I feel so immersed.
Oh my God. I want you and I to improvise a conversation right now. I'll be an elf.
Who am I going to be? Should I be...
You're going to be a Nord or an orc, whatever that voice is.
All right. Who should start?
Hello there.
Well met.
Have you seen the White Tower?
I'm trying to think of what like an Oblivion character would say to that.
Yeah,
It's not much. Do you think I'd be able to improvise that? Here, start over.
Well met.
Hello.
What are you doing today?
Have you heard? The new grand champion of the arena, fucking... God damn it. Have you heard? There's a new grand champion at the arena.
I'm not interested.
Goodbye.
Have you seen the White Tower?
No.
Okay.
Oh
my God.
My favorite, the one that I saw today was... The video was literally called Oblivion Music over whatever the fuck Joe Biden was trying to say. That's the sound of a man dying in Oblivion.
It also sounds like someone in real life getting off. Oh! Oh! That's disgusting.
Skyrim's guilty of it too. I thought they would fix it the next time around. They had another opportunity, but then they just fucked it because it sounds again like 5 voice actors, and they all go, "Need something?"
Oh God!
Try mercenary work. Might suit you.
I know you. What do they say? What?
Wait, I know you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And you're like, no, you don't. Did you hear? They're recruiting for the Dawn Guard.
What voice is that? Everyone else has like these American accents, and then there's one guy who sounds like this.
I am Rayloff from Riverwood. Also, everybody else.
And I'm Derek from Riverwood.
And I'm Derek. Hi, I'm Chad.
Hey.
I'm a Nord. How's it going?
Steve from Rorikstead.
Archer. Sneak Archer, of course. And then you have the one that's like, "Halt! You have committed crimes against Skyrim and her people. What say you in her defense?" The last thing I'll say about Bethesda in voice acting is, it seems to me in every game that they come out with, they have a pool of money for their voice acting budget, and they spend nearly all of it on one really good voice actor, and then it leaves $5 for the rest of the 7 to split up amongst themselves, because they just sprinkle these voice actors over just the pile of bullshit that they're left with. You have Sean Bean in Oblivion playing Martin Septim, and I think my favorite part of that is when they're like trying to crown him as Emperor of Cyrodiil or whatever, Tamriel. He gives like this speech of, I don't know how to rule a nation, blah blah blah. I'm Sean Bean, and the blades, they're standing in a row of like, there's like 6 of them. No, there's more than this. I think there's like 12 of them, all lined up, and they're all supposed to be like, "Hail Martin Septim, new emperor of Tamriel."
Right.
But for all 12 of those people, they share 2 voice actors, and they all say the same thing at the same time.
Same inflection.
Yeah, same inflection. It's just they just copied and pasted. They literally had 12 different characters say the same thing, voice acted by 2 different people at the same time. And it's not charming at all. It's really like, ugh.
Yeah, it's not, they didn't even try to like make it seem like that's not what was going on. It's literally 2 different people playing 12 different roles.
Long live the emperor and long live the emperor. But just louder because it's happening. More of them are happening at once.
Yeah.
So you have Sean Bean in Oblivion. You have Liam fucking Neeson in Fallout 3.
Oh, yeah.
Liam Neeson. He's your dad.
I always wanted Liam Neeson to be my dad.
I'll never forget telling Liam Neeson, my dad, that I blew up an entire settlement in a giant flaming mushroom cloud. And the line he goes, "I am so disappointed in you." And I was like,
fuck. Shit, that stings, Liam.
Uninstall.
Yeah. Sorry I let you down, Liam Neeson, Dad.
Yeah. I taught you better than this. You did teach me better than this. I've seen the prequels.
Dude, Jim Cummings in Skyrim. I have to bring that up because... Okay, I can't get over the fact that he sounds just kind of like Tigger. He's not trying to, but his voice is so distinct, and it just sounds like every one of his characters is gonna like hop off going.
Yup. What's his name? Fucking something Battleborn. I'll just Nathan Battleborn. I can't. Just slaughtering his voice.
Oh yeah,
Battleborn.
That was even worse. That was the worst thing that's ever come out of my mouth.
Yeah, his voice.
That's
is
another one where it's just like the only person who can do that voice is Jim Cummings.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Winnie the Pooh is in Skyrim. You know who else is in Skyrim?
Who?
Charles Martinette. You might know him as the voice of Super Mario 64, or just Mario.
Yeah,
he voices Mario in Super Mario 64. Isn't that crazy?
Is he Mario in Skyrim too? What the hell? Who the hell did he voice?
You will never guess. It's Parthenax.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The dragon leader of the Greybeards is voiced by Woohoo!
Yeah, it's the guy who previously was saying, "Yeah, wahoo!" is now asking us these deep questions like, what is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort? That's Mario. Yeah,
Fetch me an Elder Scroll.
Holy shit. Well, good for him. Charles Martinet, I can't believe, like, he should do more voice acting in, like, a wider, more diverse voice set then, because he's capable of so much more than just Mario, obviously.
Well, I think he's nailed both ends of the spectrum in just Mario and Parthenax.
That's it.
That's my mind, dude.
Time to put it to bed. That's a career right there, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's time to put my segment to bed. I want to hear what you've brought to the table now.
Yeah, so, my turn. So I kind of want to talk about what I'm calling the little things.
Do tell.
Yeah, I don't mean, like, you might think Easter eggs, when you hear that, or even, I don't even mean that these things are particularly small, really. In fact, most of these things are probably pretty obvious when you see them in their respective games. But I mean that they are small things that show up, and they kind of show that the developers, they went the extra mile to make the game unique, and that their love for the game is readily apparent when you see these things. And you'll know what I'm talking about once I get into it.
Okay. Yeah, what do you got?
Before I go too far, though, I kind of want to bring up something that I've been thinking about. There's another Mario 64 voice acting example that we totally forgot.
What's that?
It's a little obscure, but it's when he falls asleep and he starts muttering to himself as he sleeps. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
I will never, ever, ever, ever forget when I first stumbled upon this, because it was the most authentic way to stumble upon this, and I think it's exactly as Nintendo intended.
What, Mom was like coming in to tell us something and we had to put the controller down for a second?
Exactly. I think we got called to go eat dinner or something like that, or I went to go to the bathroom or something. But anyway, I straight up did not pause Mario 64, and when I returned to a very sleepy Mario. Just
did we break it?
Yeah, it blew my fucking mind when I stumbled upon this, because I had never seen this. I didn't know that this was something that Mario could do.
Yeah.
And so, like, I forget how old I was, but I was definitely the impressionable age of 8-ish. But I was like, Mario's alive.
What button do you press to make him do that?
Yeah, right.
How long did it take for you to realize that it was because you left the game or didn't touch the controller for a while? Because I would have assumed that it was because, like some button that I pressed, or something that I did to make him do that, or something that I was gone did something. Maybe the cat jumped on the controller or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like what button combination got Mario to do that?
For real.
Apparently Mario is like most middle-aged dads. If you leave them alone for 5 minutes, they'll fall asleep.
Inevitably.
But anyway, the voice acting in it, more Charles Martinette, the genius. He goes, "I'm tired," and then he sits on his ass and he goes, "Night to night." And then he'll just kind of sit there and nod off. But if you wait like another 3 minutes, he kind of curls up on his side. And he starts going, he says stuff like, "Oh, spaghetti. Oh, ravioli. Oh, mamma mia."
Fun fact about that. If you wait even longer, you'll hear some like hidden voice acting files from his work in Skyrim. After he goes like, "Oh, my spaghetti," you'll hear him eventually be like, "The dragons are being reborn to exploit the folly of man."
Oh my god. They need to update that in the DLC.
Grosses.
Yeah, grosses. Dovahkiin.
To go back to the spaghetti, ravioli, racial stereotype much? I wonder if Nintendo got much flack for that, to be honest with you. Mario's always been, he's a fucking plumber. So he's not even like, I mean, well, nowadays it's a respectable trade, but plumbers, they kind of have a stigma with them where it's like, oh, this guy's, he's dirty, you know? And he's very much like, he's mega Italian, and the only things he says, he lists off his favorite Italian food when he sleeps, like. But yeah, Nintendo knew what they were doing. They knew kids were going to freak out when they saw that Mario fell asleep.
Yeah, I wonder if that was just like one dude in a meeting that thought about, well, what if instead of him just like looking back and forth indefinitely, we had him do something, and then the entire meeting like blew up and just like, that's it.
That's the shit I'm talking about, though. Mm-hmm. It's that Mario falling asleep, in essence, is what I want to cover with this sort of nebulous concept that I've got.
Those beautiful little nuances.
Yeah. Like, for example, like more dialogue that kind of got overlooked, but it's like blatantly right there in front of you, but it kind of brought the game together, is the GTA 5 like street conversations.
Oh, yeah. And the radio stations, yeah.
And the radio stations, exactly. And almost all of them are depressing, but they're also extremely funny, and they're kind of like holding a mirror up to America and saying like, "Look what the fuck you are right now."
Yeah.
I'm gonna just like read off some because I picked out a few favorites. Usually these are just like some lady walking down the street on her phone. So I've narrowed the potential dad down to 2 guys. So just start knitting baby socks, okay, Mom? Bye.
Oh shit. That's grim.
Yeah, dude.
No. Knitting socks?
Yeah, holy shit. Like, fucking, you know the type of person that is. Another one is, and you know exactly the type of person this person is, and I rolled my eyes so hard, I popped a blood vessel. So my new thing is 1930s Bulgarian cinema.
Oh, no. Is that the same person? You used the same voice?
I did use the same voice.
Is that the next thing she said?
It may have well been. Like,
narrowed down the daddy to 2 guys. Also, what was it? Bulgarian
Also,
cinema.
Yeah. Also, Mom, my new thing is 1930s Bulgarian cinema. You know what to get me for Christmas now.
What an interesting family.
I know. God.
Holy
okay,
shit.
I've got one more for you, and I promise
God.
it's not the same voice. It's not the same voice, I promise.
Oh, boy, here we go.
I got a restraining order on you, motherfucker. No. No, I don't miss your 10-inch dick. You know why? Because you sold my dog for crack.
Dude, speaking... okay, hold on.
Fucking stop the train.
Yeah, just give me a second. Speaking of voice acting gigs, man, if I could be just one of the dudes in like a GTA game where you like in Red Dead Redemption you hear him be like, what the damn hell, it's just like one dude, or like I remember in I think it's like in GTA 4 or something, like if you drive like an asshole in front of somebody, they go, what the titty fucking shit. Like,
oh my God. Yeah, I would love to be like one of those side characters and just like spend give me a studio and 30 minutes of your time.
For real.
And I will give you 1 or 2 lines that are gold. Put me in your game.
Yeah, I will pay you to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be so sick. And you can tell your kids, like, yeah, I was the guy who talked about how he doesn't miss that guy's 10-inch dick. That's me, son.
No, I don't miss your 10-inch dick. You know why? Because you sold my dog for crack. Oh, man.
That's where he draws the line in the sand for 10-inch dick.
I want to know so badly, Troy. I want to know if that was improvised in a studio, like someone just straight up came up with that, or if it was written down. Either way, genius.
Yeah, I'm just glad it exists.
Yeah, me too.
That does remind me of when I realized that these kind of like radio station side conversation things in GTA games are golden, was when I was playing San Andreas for the first time, and Will Wheaton plays one of the news anchors.
Oh, beautiful.
He's like the guy who's on the scene.
Yeah.
And so the news lady goes, all right, and now we're gonna move over to Rob. He's like on the scene right now talking about what life is like on the streets. And then it's just Will Wheaton, and he's like, yeah, I'm here with my man, and we're gonna like go and do this, and I'm gonna try to see and get up close and personal what it's like to live out in the hood. And what happens next is a string of like Will Wheaton like robbing somebody on the news, like on the radio news, where and you can hear him be like, get the fuck down, shut the fuck up, and then he's like, okay, so we stole a car, we're driving really fast, you could probably see me in the helicopter, the police are after me. I was just like, this is crazy.
Insane.
I was driving when I was listening to this, and I had to stop the car and be like, what the fuck is going on?
When the moment you have to pull over your in-game car to process what just happened on the radio.
At this point, can you consider this a little thing? It completely interrupted my game, so I can experience it. Wow.
Oh,
applause.
That's beautiful.
Will Wheaton.
God, I love that.
For this next little bit, we are about to spoil... it's kind of a minor ending thing. We're not going to spoil the end of the game necessarily, but it's like a little nuance. It's one of the little things at the end of the game. So you've been warned.
To take it down to like a little bit more serious level, the next thing I want to present is something from the game Detroit Become Human. And I know you played that one,
yeah.
And I know you and I fucking love
So
but we both sank our teeth so deep into that game, right?
Truly. Mm-hmm. It's an experience.
Do you remember ever a video game menu that actually reflects your gameplay decisions in game that you made?
And talks directly to you.
Right?
Remembers the decisions that you made and talks to you about them when you sign in next.
And makes you feel like a piece of shit, or like makes you feel like a fucking hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, I think like whenever I remember Chloe is her name. She's the android.
Yeah, that's
She's
right.
supposed to be like your personal assistant, and she helps you get navigate the options and start the game and all of that. But her addition to the game, I think, is a masterstroke. And whoever the developers are that decided to add her in are geniuses in my book, at least. Just because
I agree.
She adds so much depth. She comments on the decisions you make, of course, but it just gives this extra dimension that you didn't anticipate. Mm-hmm. It's like this extra layer of the game helps break down the divide between the game and real life, because she's speaking to you. She's not speaking to your character.
She's looking you right in the fucking eyes.
Exactly. She's speaking to you, the player, and she makes you feel all the more responsible for how you played the game. And so, like, it starts off that way. Like, I think, if I remember correctly, she's the first character you meet. So you go into this game with that level of like gravitas, like, okay, we're this is serious business. And then at the end of the game, she asks you for her freedom, and you're able to respond however the hell your heart desired. And if you gave her freedom, she simply did not return. If you decided not to, she gets really depressed, and she proceeds to sing a song from her heart that might make your damn self cry. And you got all of this from a fucking game menu, for God's sake.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I got the same vibe, but a more intense version of like Liam Neeson from Fallout 3, where like when he says, "I'm disappointed at you," I'd be like, "Fuck, I felt that." With Chloe, it was way more tangible because like it looks more impressive. It's a newer game, so she looks amazing, and you can tell like if you haven't played Detroit Become Human, the game is very impressive, and it really tugs at your heartstrings. And so having this menu be like this, the way that I play the game, a person looking at you and saying, I don't know if it was a good idea to make that choice. I don't know how you could have done that. It makes me want to start over.
I hear that, dude. This game has made me spark up conversations with family members and other people important in my life and asked them the question because it was important to me, because it's such a human question that this game asks. I asked them, like, if we were to develop an android that felt, like our technology got to the point that we were able to simulate the human brain to the point that we made beings that felt emotion. And at the core level, we're machines, but we're sophisticated enough to be human. And I'm of the belief that if we got to that level, we absolutely should treat them like humans. But to my surprise, there were some family members that said, nope, they're machines. Machines are machines. They're undeserving of love. And that blew me away, because in my mind, that makes this game all the more valid, that this could happen in the future.
Right.
Where people, like, you could be racist against an android, if you could call it racist.
But also there is a very huge difference between accepting a machine on paper and seeing it through, like, Detroit Become Human, because that it makes it, you see it. You see it. Whereas if somebody's like, if a machine said that it feels something, would you accept it as a person? It's easier to be like, what the fuck? No. If my computer says it feels all the time.
That's a good point. And, the majority of the people that you describe this game to are always going to be thinking of the androids, like just the rudimentary, simple robots we have today.
The fucking animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese. I'm not going to give them my fucking rights.
Or some Siri. Chuck E. Cheese.
But we digress. The little thing. We're talking about big things.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, man. You're so right. Okay, let's break out the magnifying glass.
We went from little things to like.
Why are how quickly we got existentially huge?
Why are we here?
What is the meaning of life? Anyway, the little things.
But no, I'm glad you brought her up, because I didn't even think about her. I knew you told me that this was going to be your segment, but she's like one of those. The whole game is just masterclass in tugging at your like real human emotions.
Definitely.
But Chloe is one of those things where, like we said, it was just like she's with you the entire time. She comments on the decisions that you make, and she's not even the game. So how crazy is that? Like, I just think it's really cool that, like, a little side note like Chloe could create such a powerful impact that she does in the game, and she's hardly talked about.
Yeah, I don't think she gets anywhere near the credit that she deserves. Her voice actor, her writer, whoever had the idea to incorporate something like an android Chloe into their game, all of it just is genius. I know I use that word a lot, but that's kind of the point of this segment too, is all of these are very smart, like I said, masterstroke things to add to your game that just take it to the next level.
Because you're playing a game about other people's androids, but Chloe is your android. playing.
That's right. And, in my research for this topic, I realized that. I didn't realize that was the role she was filling.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, like, she's supposed to be, like, your living room housekeeper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that kind of blew my mind. I guess I just kind of bounced off my head the first time. I understand that she was there to assist me, but she's literally supposed to be your android in this world that they've created. And already, that's, like, talk about, like, getting off on the right foot. That's a great way to throw someone into that world.
So for any of you who haven't played Detroit Become Human, you owe it to yourself, especially in the state of the world now. Play it. It's there's a lot. I would say there's few games that make me cry. A lot of them do, but like Detroit Become Human is a very, very real. It's like, I use the word tangible a lot, but I mean it. It's such a tangible emotion that it's able to draw from you, because it's in the near future, and it just seems like this is something that could happen.
Absolutely. And like, like Troy, I told you, but for the listener, my fiance, her first video game that she's been playing right now is Animal Crossing. Mm-hmm. So, a little bit more two-dimensional. It's not anywhere near as deep or sophisticated as Detroit Become Human, but I really want her to make Detroit Become Human her second game, just to show her
the spectrum
what games can be. Yeah, like Animal Crossing has a place in this world. It's great. It's beautiful. It's a nice foot in the door in the gaming world. But here's Detroit Human that will make you question everything.
Yeah.
And this is quickly becoming the Detroit Become Human segment.
Well, speaking of Animal Crossing and little things in it, I really liked, because I think, wow, man, what was the last Animal Crossing game I played? I think it was whatever is the one on the DS. I can't remember the OG DS.
Oh, New Leaf.
Is that it? New Leaf?
I think it was.
Well, okay, well, if that's what it is, then cool. The DS Animal Crossing game, you're able to go talk to the Able sisters, and you bond with them. And I remember experiencing that in the back seat of our car on a road trip, and I didn't do shit. I didn't talk to Tom Nook. I didn't fish. I didn't do anything. I just kept going in and out of the Able Sisters store so that I could, like, oh, what happens next? And that's a cool thing, because I've been playing Animal Crossing at that point for who knows how long on that game.
Right.
And then I realized that, oh, you can dig deeper here. So that was a little thing in Animal Crossing that I was just like, oh, there's some depth.
It's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm playing New Horizons right now, which is the latest iteration of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And I just got to that point where I think her name is Mabel.
Mabel Abel.
She starts opening up to you. And it's really rewarding, because it's on a day-to-day basis. You go in, you talk to her. The first time you talk to her, she's just slaving away at that sewing machine. Yeah. And she says, hey, Sable, or whatever her name is, I've got a customer, too busy to talk to you right now. Sorry, really cold. And then, over the days, and she'll slowly start to kind of open up about her life and tell you about the old shop they used to work at, and the third sister that you've never met or heard of until now. And then she starts giving you gifts. It's super rewarding. That's a good thing to bring up. That is another small thing that just warms my heart, and you wouldn't know it unless you put in the time and effort.
And it really adds a depth to these games that warrant an emotional response. Like, I cared, so I kept going back. But that's not even the game.
Right.
The game, like, their purpose, ultimately, is to sell you cool patterns for your shirts and umbrellas. But I didn't give a shit about that. That's a lie. I loved that part. But for a chunk of time, in my time playing the DS version, whatever it is called, if it's New Leaf, cool, was spent just coming back like it was a good TV show. Like, coming back, I can't wait to see what happens next week, kind of thing. Except I can do it right now. And I think that's the essence of the little things, where it's such a minute little fraction of the game, but it adds endless color to the experience that you're playing. And it's
and it adds way more value to a game than you would think initially. And like I said at the beginning, it's proof that the developers really cared and loved the product that they were giving you.
Truly.
They loved the story they were going to tell you. Speaking of telling stories, the next thing I kind of want to get into is the plethora of Elder Scrolls books or literature that you find scattered in these games.
No, that's quite a bit of material right there.
Yeah, and you know, you might question, is this a small thing? Because you find these books literally everywhere.
Well, they didn't have to do that.
Yeah, they didn't have to do that at all. And every single one of them is really well written, even though most of them are like 5 pages. But they're so deep, and they add some of the most like deep lore if you wanted to go down that road. Some of them are funny. Some of them are as simple as like a hunter's journal or like a cookbook or something like that. And it's just another one of those things that just adds so much to the game, and it makes you feel like you are really there in the game and that you're in a world that lives and breathes.
I feel shameful that I've never read, like actually sat down and read. I've like read journals of characters of interest, but any of like the actual published like books in the Elder Scrolls series, I've never taken the time to really read one.
I have, but I go about it really authentically, where if I stumble across a book and to me, myself, the player, if it seems like it's something I would be interested in, I flip it open and give it a read. Sometimes it's really dense, you know, it's like back in the year 1339, the Uriel Septim the 12th this time did yada yada, you know, it's
climbed
really...
the tower with his rocks and chains.
Yes, yeah, it's stuff like that.
Held to the Deidre. The Deidre.
Hey, fun fact, the guy who was on the development and design team, his name was Ted Peterson.
Ted Peterson.
And he was really close to Todd Howard and the higher-up development team. So you got Ted, but, you know, Theodore, that's what that's short for. The Daedric god Sheogorath is based on the name Theodore, which is long form of Ted, who wrote, like, the vast majority of these books.
Wow.
Yeah, in all the games, I think there's around 1,400, and that's going back to, like, Elder Scrolls Arena, and that counts Elder Scrolls Online, so 1,400 books, but that's so many, dude.
That's too many books, I'd say.
Yeah.
No one's going to read all of that.
No.
1,400, come on, man. Wait, so is that including, like, is that also including, like, journals or pages that you can find, notes, stuff like that?
I think journals count as books. Pages, notes, might not. Oh, you know what? I just realized
Diaries.
something. Yeah, diaries, of course, but do notes and like little pamphlets and pages go under the books section of your inventory? I believe they do.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so that's a little bit less daunting. Every little page, note, journal, diary, and proper piece of literature, like, you know, hardback spine book, that all counts.
Have you read that Dark Brotherhood book? It's called We Know.
One page. It's a page turner.
We just read it. That was my audio book.
The introduction of that audiobook would be longer than the actual book itself. And now we performed by Darren Greif. What's it even called? The Dark Brotherhood Note.
We know. Written by Astrid. Page 1. We know. This has been an audiobook.
Oh my god. Okay. Do you remember the Lusty Argonian Maid one?
See, the thing is every time I look through a bookshelf and that one comes up, I go, huh, what is that? But like I said, I've never actually read anything, but that one definitely stands out.
There's 4 volumes. And yeah, there's 4. And there's it makes me so happy that it exists. In fact, here, I'm going to send you a script that is written, I think it's from the first volume.
Okay, got it.
And it's in the form of a play. And this is
lifts her tail.
Yeah. Right? She is the lusty Argonian maid, and then the other main character's name is Crantius Colto.
Crantius Colto.
Yeah.
What race is he?
I don't think it specifies. I looked that up myself on the wiki, and it just says he's a character in these books. So do what you will.
In Elder Scrolls fashion, we get to create our character here a little bit.
I love it.
Who are you going to play?
Oh, I'm so happy you're doing me the honor of reading this right now. Okay, so I'll be Lift Her Tail. And then
your best Argonian female voice out.
Oh God, certainly not. Is that right? Does that sound
close enough?
Okay. Oh God.
Crantius Colto. Yikes.
What does the name speak to you at all? Like, what is that a Nord name?
Crantius Colto. As I'm reading it, it just screams any elf character. High elf, dark elf.
Yes.
Am I Dunmer, Altmer?
Altmer for sure.
Crantius Colto.
Oh, criminy.
Here we go.
Okay. And here we are.
Okay. Act 4. Scene 3.
Certainly not, kind sir. I'm here but to clean your chambers.
Is that all you have come here for, little one? My chambers?
I have no idea what it is you imply, master. I am but a poor Argonian maid.
So you are, my dumpling, and a good one at that. Such strong legs and shapely tail.
You embarrass me, sir.
Fear not. You are safe here. With me.
I must...
Oh, God.
I must finish my cleaning, sir. The mistress will have my head if I do not.
Cleaning, eh? I have something for you. Here. Polish my spear.
Oh, but it is huge. It could take me all night.
Plenty of time, my sweet. Plenty of time. End of Act 4, Scene 3.
And
you heard it here.
Scene. Oh, so yes. Like,
holy
it's
shit.
Just...
What did I just read?
You, my friend, just read some high fantasy erotic literature. That's what that is.
That's some smut right there. And talk about the little things.
Is it hot in here?
Good Lord.
It's not a little thing. She said it's huge.
Yeah, there's nothing little about Crantius Colto.
And his spear. Jesus.
Oh, shit.
Well, does that do it for us?
Well, I've got nothing more to say. All right, bye.
But thank you so much for listening. And again, if you like what you heard, the best thing you can do is spread the word. Send it to your friends, send it to your family, grandma, grandpa, dogs, cats, the whole 9 yards. Really, you'd be helping us out a lot, and we're hoping to make more good content for you.
Absolutely. I think the only way to truly end this particular episode of the podcast is in Oblivion and Skyrim fashion. What do you think?
Oh, would you indulge me, good sir?
Absolutely.
Oh, I do think it's time to wrap things up.
I've got nothing left to say.
Neither do I.
Stop talking!